Hello everyone and welcome to day 14 of our Christmas calendar here on the channel. And whilst we did take a look at the top 5 tournament tips that we did on day 13, now we are going to focus on tour play. Sure, I'm not the player that play the most tour play in the world, but I know how to be successful in tour play. Because in the end, I have been completing all the tours over and over and over again. And the reason I'm not playing tour play it's because I focus more on tournaments and I think that's more exciting for me. And that's me as a player. But if there's anyone that would give you good tips on how to be a better tour player, then that is me. So I made a video that is a top 5 video of my best tips for being a better or being a good tour player. Has never been done before. This is no remake, and I'm super excited to show this for you all and share my knowledge and hopefully then help you become a better player. Enjoy. It's time to take a look at my top 5 best tips on how to be a winning player in tour play. Yeah, tour play is not talked about as much on the channel because there are so many tournaments, but it happens that I do play some tour play, especially after request from you users. And it's not that I don't know how to play tour play, it's just that I have been maxing out my accounts and I've been maxed for so long that I don't really see any challenge with playing tour play at the moment. But does that mean that I don't have any good tips? I have some brilliant tips for you, and I'm gonna list my top 5 and I hope you will enjoy it. Number 5 sounds a bit silly maybe. It is just called upgrade the extra mile. And the thing is that the extra mile is the club, the driver that you generally unlock as your first driver after the rocket. It could be that you're getting another driver as well in the early stages, but the extra mile can be obtained already from Tour 2. And the important part with extra mile is that it gives you power. Because as a new player in tour play, the issue you have from the beginning is power. Because you don't have the fancy balls, you don't have the other drivers upgraded because you can't unlock many of them until the later stages, such as, it's, the Thor's Hammer, Apocalypse, and stuff like that. You can't obtain them until later stages in tour. So the extra mile is super important, but not just upgrade it, just unlock it. Make sure to get it to level 2 or level 3 until you are progressing through the tours. Because the fact is, many players are rushing in the beginning because it is fairly simple. And what I mean with that is that there is a lot of opponents that are making mistakes. So by just playing a mistake-free game, you will win many games just based off that. And it won't cost you any balls really. And especially if you do have the luxury to unlock the extra mile on an early stage, then you will see yourself outplaying your opponents in that stage. Obviously, when you come up in tours, the clubs doesn't matter and the ball doesn't really matter either. Then it's all about getting close in the shootout. But in the beginning, upgrade the extra mile and make sure to upgrade it as much as you have patience for before you move on, because that will help you not hitting a wall once you reach to the second tee, or let's say from tour 5 and upwards, where your opponent will have some clubs with power, and then you will be clubbed, and that's not going to be fun because then you will lose a lot of games outright. Number 4 is guide. Alright, doesn't have to be a paid guide, it could be a free guide, it could be any guide, because the fact is, if you have something to follow, it will allow you to, or let's say like this, it will prevent you from losing some of the games that you may not know how to play because because you haven't done the prep work maybe, or you just didn't see any videos of that shot before. I mean, we do have the website golfclashtommy.com, which is a perfect starting place for those of you that do want for free get yourself some ideas on how to playing some of the some tours out there, because we have videos for more or less everything there for free. Obviously, for those that do want to invest, we do have the exclusive tour text guides, but it's not, not a must. It will be a greater help, but it's not a must. The thing is though, with having something to follow, free or not free,
is once again that it will prevent you from losing some games that you would otherwise have done. Because otherwise it is like that. If you go up to a new tour and you don't know what to do and you have nothing to follow, you will get to lose some games in the beginning, because you will be playing players that you have some experience on that specific tour. And that's going to be very difficult to take yourself through, and then it's going to require a big bankroll, because you need to allow yourself to lose to learn. So, in the end, number 4, it's guide. Number 3 is do your homework. Yeah, I know we are playing for fun, but again, we are here in this top 5 video looking into how to be a winning player on the specific tour. And to be a winning player, you need to do your homework. It's all from making sure that you know how to play the shootouts. Obviously not to get a hole-in-one in every win, but you need to give yourself an idea on how to play. Make your own nice notes on a piece of paper, or on the computer, or just get yourself again a guide and make notes of that, free guide, paid guide, whatever, and get yourself prepared and make sure that you are in the best state of mind when you go up to that tour. Those players that are winning a lot, now I'm not saying 100% because no one is winning 100% on a specific tour, but those that are winning 75% plus, they are doing their homework before they're playing, and also during the time they are playing. After a shootout, they might feel that, okay, I'm a couple of yards here too far away. What do I do the next time if I get that wind? Make a little note. Doesn't take many seconds, but at least then you have that for the next time you play, and eventually that will all come together and you're gonna win more, way more than you're going to lose. Have in mind, you only need to win more than 50% of the games to get a positive bankroll and also increase in trophies, which is all that matters in the end. So it is not that much homework you need to do to be able to get there. But the most important thing when it comes to do your homework is to know how to play the shootouts. That's how your focus should be. Once that is done, then you should focus on how to not make a mistake on certain par 4s and par 5s. Some of those par 4s and par 5s are no-brainers because it's open fairways and easy greens to reach, but some of them are tough, where just reaching, making an eagle on a tough and long par 5 could be making you win an easy game where your opponent haven't done their homework. Bankroll management as number 2. No, it's not number 1, but bankroll management is super important. This is something that I talked about way back in the game, because I always, when I was playing tour play, and I was playing tour play a lot because that was even before tournaments started. We didn't have tournaments in the beginning of Golf Clash, we only had tour play. So, to not run out of coins, I needed to allow myself to play stress-free and also somewhat risk-free. So, we take an example. If I'm playing on tour number 8, right? I'm making sure that I'm having at least 10 buy-ins to lose before I run out of coins. 10 buy-ins is, however, not that much. And I would like to say that if you want to be a little bit more careful, you should go 20 or even 30 times the buy-in before you're playing that tour. And that's obviously then looking into, once you then go up and play tour 8 and you do have those buy-ins, then you're looking the same at tour 9, as tour 9 is then 1 million per game. That's what you are betting to either obviously get 1 million back or to lose 1 million. In the worst case scenario, you lose 1 million. So to then go up to tour 9, then it's all about how comfortable you feel going up to that tour. Either to go with 10 times the buy-in, 20 times the buy-in, or even 30 times the buy-in to allow yourself to play stress-free, risk-free. So that would mean that you would have at least 10 million as a bankroll before you go up in tour 9. And if you don't have, let's say that you complete tour 8 and you have 7 million in your bank, don't go up to tour 9 and make the mistake many players are doing, and then they run out of coin because they can't just keep themselves to the plan of how to be a good player in tour. Then stay on tour 8 because you clearly are a winning player, because you're winning there. So grinding those coins back up to a level you feel comfortable with, that is minimum 10 million or minimum 10 times the buy-in, then you move up to tour 9. Don't be afraid that if you do hit a wall on that specific tour, you might not really grasp some of the shootouts in there, you might need to do some more prep work, but you still want to play tour. Go down to the tour that you were then a winner at, like the tour before, and allow yourself to play stress-free, build up your bank, and then take a new stab. Never put yourself in a scenario where you are 1 or 2 games away from running out of coins. Who would think it's fun to start over the game or having to invest money in buying coins? Because I tell you that investing your hard-earned cash, real cash, in spending on coins in Golf Clash is probably the most stupid investment you can do when it comes to investing money in the game of Golf Clash. You should be investing those money in other stuff, because you could prevent yourself from running out of coin so easily if you just take my bankroll management advice. Last but not least, number 1, don't blame your opponent. The opponent is not the player that loses the game for you. You are the one losing the game for you. There are so many posts out there, and there are so many comments out there where, oh, my opponent had an Apocalypse 6, I had Apocalypse 5, opponent had a Titan, I played with a Navigator, that's the reason I lost. No, it's not. It may be at one time that you lose due to that because your opponent could drive green and you couldn't, but it's not more than 50% of the games. Focus on your own play. Focus on how to get the closest you can on shootout. Focus on not doing mistakes on par 4s and par 5s. Because if you don't make a mistake on par 4s and par 5s, I would say that 99% of the games will go to shootout. So in the shootout, it doesn't really matter what equipment you have, what ball you have, because you have done your prep work for your equipment. Not for your opponent's equipment, because your opponent has obviously done the prep work for his or hers equipment instead. So you do your homework. You make sure that you're gonna be close enough, regardless if you go first in the shootout or you go last. You should put the pressure if you go first. You should kill it if you go last, and make sure to get closer than your opponent. And you do that by following the advice that I have given you here in this top 5 tips. And this last one again, don't blame your opponent, because the opponent is not what makes you lose. If your opponent has a better ball than you or a better club than you, it's not the reason why your opponent is 2 yards away from the hole in the shootout and you are 5. That's because you haven't done what you're supposed to do, you haven't done the prep work, and therefore you lost. Not because your opponent did their prep work better than your opponent did the prep work better than you, obviously, because that's why your opponent did win. And I don't say that there will be occasions where a better club or a better ball will be an advantage, but again, we're looking to win more than 50% of the games. We're not looking to win 100% of the games. And you can easily win more than 50% of the games by having a worse equipment than your opponent.